Good afternoon, welcome back to my channel. Today I met my good buddy, longtime collaborator, artist Lu Wei. Perhaps you know his artworks already. His artworks are very popular on the internet and I'm sure you have seen one of them at least, knowing or not knowing this artist by name. And his artworks in China were like memes and people call him as the guy who was smashed to the ground by his mean girlfriend. I'm happy to see him after 10 years, not seeing him in China, although we met like almost every second year, but it was never in China, so I'm very excited to see him. So I proposed to visit Songzhuang, his old studio area. I was surprised by the change in this area. I couldn't recognize anything. Songzhuang was a place for artists in the outskirts of Beijing, and Songzhuang literally means the Song family's village, because Song is a family name and Zhuang is a village. It was not a village anymore. It's such a city, and you can see just big museums and companies that is in the field of art, as well as restaurants and a lot of different kinds of restaurants and cafes. Cat cafe, a cat cafe in Songzhuang, I could not imagine. 10 years ago it was just a village with chickens running around in the field. And today is so different, and I guess because when artists went there, collectors went there, government followed with some investment to make this area better. Everything like was just driven up by the rush of capital. And artists couldn't afford the studio space anymore and they were pushed outside, and Lu Wei himself had to leave as well, and he had to move to really a countryside in the middle of nowhere, like almost an hour drive away. But I have to say it's worth the time driving there because it's beautiful. We see together like some really nice locations, and perhaps those locations will be for his next shooting. And his new space is really in a remote area, and I can see that he used to have some chickens laying around, but the chickens escaped and now he had only some plants. And the toilet is still this old style, a hole on the ground toilet, and I only had used it when I was 4 years old. But it's like this, and who knows, maybe 10 years later this area can become super nice and he had to move again. It's life. On the way, because we had a lot of time, he was just talking to me about stuff and ideas and projects, and I told him to open a WeChat public account to promote his art, and he was like, I can't. I thought maybe he didn't have the time. I understand he's very busy, so I said, okay, you can hire somebody to do that so you can promote your art. And he's like, I can't. I was like, what do you mean you can't? You can, like if you want you can. He's like, no, because my name. I was like, because of your name? What's wrong with your name? You have a perfectly well-known artist name and you have a crystal clear criminal record. What wrong could it be? And he's like, because the way my name is spelled. So he told me this very interesting story. His name is spelled as Lu Wei with a sound radical, and his originally name was Lu Wei as a normal people radical. And the fact he changed his name in his early 20s because he wanted to change his real name into an artist name to give a special flair so that he can stand out from a million of people whose name is Wei. And this name is so common, it's like David, so that he can be different. There's nothing wrong. So he studied the dictionary and he chose this new name with a slight different spelling. And the police station changed his name, very easily because you're allowed to change once after you become adult. And guess what? The sound radical name is not digitized. This existed as in this carved on the stone thing in the dictionary as a like historic character. But in the new computing system, we don't have this way. We only have the other way. If he wants a public account on WeChat, he has to match his digital name with his ID name so that they can approve and verify his account. Imagine Instagram, if you're verifying your name and you have a special name. Maybe in Germany you have a umlaut. Maybe you in France you have a l'accent grave or l'accent aigu, and if you are in I don't know where in Spain you have a nie with an n with a little tail. And imagine if your name is spelled in your own language and we'll have to convert it to an English name and the system doesn't recognize it and you can't do plenty of things. Your life is grounded and it feels like, at least I feel like, it's like imprisoned. He didn't feel this way because he had to deal with it for the past 10 years and he is kind of used to it. So I told him, change your name, use any means you can, change your name, because you're not going to change the digital system of the whole country, and so that you can proceed your own life. Now he can't even have a digital payment account. He can't have a public promotion account. He can't have a like WeChat's, normal account. And I couldn't stand this myself. If this is happening to me, I would rather change my name. I don't care what's my name. Just ask me and name me anything, I'll do it so that I can live my life. But he is such an artist. So he said, no, because I want my name is my name. I want to be true to my heart. It's his name after all. I can't force him to change his name. I respect his choices. It's really not practical. And I think in many ways it had stopped him from developing his own communication in China, although outside of China is not interfered because the pinyin, the romanization of his name is spelled the same. But anyway, it's just a new discovery that I realized, and I wanted to help him brainstorm a project just with people with special names or names with special spelling that is outside of this digitized standard system. And it can unite a lot of people, artists, non-artists, like face this problem together and find humor so that a lot of people can help the system to change something and make their life easier and to add some diversity in the world. And you can't say you can't spell your name in the computer, your name had to change. It can be a very interesting art project. What do you think? Do you have a special name? And if your name is not allowed in the computing system, how would you react? Let me know. Tomorrow I have a lot to do and we're gonna have the first meeting with all the startup entrepreneurs. I'm so excited and I'll keep you guys informed with the upcoming events. See you guys!